Um, my name is Paula, and today we are doing another episode of Behind the Music with the extremely talented Bobby Harm. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Paula. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing really, really good. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for
Um,
having me.
oh, no worries, no worries. And this new song is absolutely awesome. And I love the story behind it. So,
Thank you.
tell us. Let's start with the name of the song and the story behind it.
So the song is called Love Like That, and I performed the song and wrote the song with Lynn Swaney of the group Lindsay. The story is really something that happened to me several years ago. It's a conversation that I had with an older woman I met randomly, and she started telling me about her husband who had recently passed and how they had this very long lasting love relationship for several years, for decades. And it was just an incredible relationship. And she shared the story of her love with her husband and how, how they made it last for all those years, how they made it work. And she saw that I was a young person that was single, that was, kind of looking for love. And she cautioned me, don't be fooled by this, and hold out for the real thing. Don't just try to go for a flash in the pan, somebody, that isn't serious or isn't like-minded. And she just gave me this wealth of information, really. And really it stuck with me throughout all of these years. And so I was speaking with Lynn, who's part of the group Lindsay, and she's frequently in the chat room of my shows, as you know. And we were talking about, writing a song one time, and I presented the song story to her, and she loved it, and she thought it was a
Mm.
great idea to write a song together. And the rest is history, as they say.
It's awesome. It really is awesome. And I
Thank
love like
you.
that is especially in this day and age, relationships don't always last as long. You know what I mean? Marriages don't last as long. So hearing that from somebody is just fantastic, absolutely. And from the first time I heard it, your voices together are amazing because there's a contrast. Obviously,
Thank
Lynn
you.
has that deeper voice, and they're just gorgeous together, absolutely gorgeous. So I
Thank
love that.
you so
I've been
much.
a
I'm so glad you love it. I really am. And somebody had mentioned in conversation, oh, you never know what you're going to get when, you put two voices together, and we're both in our own respect powerhouse type voices. So it was
yeah.
kind of like, how's this going to work? But I just knew it was going to sound great together.
Yeah, you sound amazing. And I have to
Thank you.
say, to me, it feels like home, even though it's not maybe that sort of song, but it feels like the older type of country. Do you know what I mean? It has that
Yes.
warming glow to it, even though there's a bit of a sad story to it. It still gives you that warm glow. And the bit near the end of the song when she's talking about, going into her own marriage and the thought of this lady is, it really it can bring a real maybe not a tear to your eye, even though it's sad, but it kind of warms your heart. So
Well, thank you for recognizing that. It's really important to me. I know that you took that away from the song,
mm,
because even though the story is heartwarming, as you mentioned, and there is a little bit of sadness, there is the positive note and the uplifting, positive, hopeful part of it where the
yeah,
person is saying, that she found a love like that. And she held out for the one, and she was thinking of the person who gave her the advice, and those words stuck forever and ever and ever. So there is
yeah,
that bit of positivity there, and there's that bit of hope. And although their love didn't last forever in physical sense, the memory of his love lasted forever, and she passed that on to somebody else. So I
yeah,
think it kept the love going.
yeah, which is awesome. And it was good to the little bits, don't look for the diamond rings, look for the other things in the relationship. These material things are not important, which I think, I bet everybody in their own time have been swept away by that part of it. But there's a lot more to a relationship than just that, which is just, yeah. I have to say, I've been addicted to it since the first time I heard it. So yeah, it's
Thank
amazing.
you very much. It means the world to me, and I know Lynn will be extremely proud to know that you enjoyed the song so much.
And she has an amazing voice. I've seen a picture of her. I was thinking, sometimes you look at someone, you try to imagine their voice, and it was
Yeah.
very different to what I expected. As I said, used to together is amazing. We need a whole album of them, I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
You,
Noted.
your voices together, as I said, it was just perfect. But
Thank
the
you.
question I have to ask there's a lot of duets out there. How do you work out who sings one bit, who does that? You know, what's the whole choreography behind that thing?
It's a good question because as we were writing the song, we were talking about that and we're like, okay, who's going to sing what part? And sometimes if there's too much back and forth, it becomes confusing. It becomes,
Mm,
I want to say, almost like a whirlwind, and you can't keep
yeah,
track of, let's say, the story, or there's a lot going on. So as we were writing the song, initially, like, we were talking about how do you find that love, or how do you make that last? And then
mm,
we talked about the part of the song that was, how do you keep it going once you find it? How do you make it reach those
yeah,
number of years? And how do you do it through the hard times? Like, what is the recipe? And I feel like as we were writing the song, I think, like, we took on the characters, so
yeah,
she was the person who was meeting the older woman and asked, how do you make it last? And then I was narrating it and telling the
yeah,
story, and then I was giving the advice, and at the end she was the one that got to sing that bit about finding the one. And
yeah,
it was just so heartwarming to see the story come full circle, even though I was one of the writers and I knew what was going to happen. Hearing it play out in the form of a story, but with vocals and harmonies, and
yeah.
it was just like, it really, really made an impact. And I'm very happy with the way that the parts got divided. I think it really gave it a sense of balance. I feel like there's
Yeah.
a method to it, as opposed to just singing line and like repeating line after line and alternating. I feel like it came out in a cohesive way, and I feel like it worked really
Mm.
well. So I hope everybody else takes that away from the song as well.
I hope so too. It's amazing, but yeah, it was. It said some duets you do find you bounce between it, and you can't get to grips with the song. Where this, she did an amazing job with, how the story went and everything else. And I must admit, from an artist point of view, even though you've written the words and it obviously flows and does an amazing job, but when you actually hear it sung, it must bring a whole new meaning to that story again.
It really does. And I'm a very particular person when I write. I don't ever put a word in that I don't mean. I don't add filler words to fill space. It's important to me that every single word belongs.
Yeah,
And when I have such a connection to the song, and then I get to hear it back, and part of it wasn't my vocals, right? Part of it was Lynn, and Lynn harmonizing with herself. And hearing that was like, wow, this really, really sounds like a full experience. And I'm I'm getting it back to me as if I'm just receiving it for the first time, which was really,
yeah.
really great. And my dog is barking in the background because he agrees. He thought
He
it was
does agree.
amazing. He loves the song. He
He
paused it
should.
on repeat. Yeah.
I
Here
love
he
that.
comes. He wants to be in the spotlight. Here he comes.
Come
Duke,
and
you want
see
to
us.
come say hi? I have a big dog. I
Oh,
don't know if you can see him. Hold on one second. There he goes. There he
hello, love
goes.
bug.
Oh, there
He's gone.
he
Bye.
goes.
He's had his say. He's had his say. He loves it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, how long did it take you to write? I mean, obviously you knew the story, but obviously trying to put it into a 3 second, 3 minute song has got to be quite difficult. So I'm assuming the conversation was a bit longer than 3 minutes.
Yes, and it was actually Lynn's first co-write. She's never co-written a song before. And so I really enjoyed the process of doing it with her and being her first co-write.
Mm.
I think that there was a lot of time spent in identifying the parts of the story that we wanted to share. Because, sometimes as a songwriter, you have to pick what to leave out and what you want to put in.
Yeah,
And even though there are so many parts to, like, say, the story, what part is going to best convey the story, and what parts are
yeah,
really going to fit well together with the rest of what we're saying. And
yeah.
so we did tailor it down to where it is right now. And it was really great to write it. It was fun to write it. There were a lot of late night phone calls, doing it over the phone,
Yeah,
and getting to know each other in the process, because when you're
yeah,
writing a song with somebody, you get to know them, you get to know a bit about their personality and how they approach their songwriting. It's
yeah,
always different from person to person. And
yeah.
it was a really great experience.
Yeah, we've heard that from a lot of artists how they do things so differently. How some artists need to know the people they're writing with; they need to be closer to them, or some have special areas that they write. So it's a very personal thing, isn't it? Right, this one because you're putting your emotion and everything within that. So it must be a very vulnerable space to be in.
I have to agree with you because it's like you're creating a baby. It's like an extension of yourself and your feelings, and you're putting it out into the universe. And then I can understand people's reluctance to write with somebody that they don't know or that they're not close with, because it is an intimate thing if you're speaking about your
Mm,
feelings. And it's hard
yeah.
enough to speak about your feelings, or put them on a anonymous post somewhere, but to put them in a song and then go out there and sing it for the world, it's very, very personal. It's very unnerving. It's
It is.
very okay. You see everything. Like, I'm here and this is my story. And so I could
Absolutely.
understand people wanting to be with people who are like-minded, or that they feel safe around while they're doing this
Yeah.
creating, because it really does come from such a deep place.
Yeah. But I think from this point of view, because you didn't know each other, you probably worked really well. You probably maybe thrived from each other, learning how you work together. And maybe it may even brought out even more of a vulnerable side because you were trying to portray that story so much.
Absolutely. Without a
You
doubt.
know,
Without a doubt.
it was awesome. I absolutely love
Thank
it.
you.
And I have to say,
Thank you.
it does feel like older country to me. You know what you used to listen to, like the older Reba. And it just from the first moment it started, it just felt like home. I love this. Even if there's no voices,
Thank
I
you.
just love the music. So no, it was absolutely fantastic. And the whole story behind
Thank
it
you.
was just amazing. So yeah,
That means
thank you
the
so
world to
much.
me. Thank
So,
you. Thank you. That means the absolute world to me. Thank you.
brilliant, brilliant. So everybody, if you're looking for this song, it is out. Oh my god, January 22nd, I really forgot. And it is
Monday.
absolutely Monday. Yes, Monday. My brain's gone. My brain's gone. So tell everybody, where can they get hold of this song? Where can they download it?
Okay, so as of Monday, the 22nd, it will be available on all streaming platforms. If you need to find more information, you can go to my website, which is robbiehart.com. And it will be, like I said, on all of the streaming platforms. I'm available on all streaming platform, on all social media at Robbie Hart Official. So if you can't find it for any reason, or if you'd like more information about the song, you could get in touch with me, and I'd love to share the story with you.
Perfect, perfect. It's an amazing song. So yeah, everybody, make sure you're ready on January 22nd to download this song. You will not be disappointed. It is absolutely amazing. And thank you very much for joining us. This was fun. Let's do it more
Thank
often.
you. Thank you so much for
Take
all of your support.
no worries. Take care, everybody. See ya.